Hello and welcome to Touch of Evil by Orson Welles, the great Orson Welles from 1958. And yeah, it's a very special film for me because it's on my list since I've started the channel. So for a very long time, but I never came to watching it. Yeah, but now's the time. I heard a lot about this film. I know nothing about the story, just that Orson Welles plays some sort of a corrupt detective, and Charlton Heston plays a Mexican, and that's very strange. That alone. Yeah, but nothing about the story. But I heard a lot that people say that it's well production-wise, it's well done, well directed, and such. But the story is not that good. That it's an exceptionally well-made B-movie and stuff like that. Some say it's his best work, even. Yeah, so I don't know what to think, but my expectations are high because it's from Orson Welles, an artist, a very special artist. And yeah, I've seen Citizen Kane, and that's it. By Orson Welles, I mean. And I also heard that he shot almost the entire film on an 18mm lens, which is also very interesting because in that time it was very unusual to shot in that such wide angle. Citizen Kane he shot in 25mm, but now in 18mm. I'm very excited to see what he does with that wide angle and almost the entire film. So what about these close-ups and such? And also the cast is very well known. Charlton Heston, Janet Leigh, and Marlene Dietrich. I never seen anything with her in it, even though she's very well known. Yeah, and now the elephant in the room. Which cut am I watching? Because there are 3 official cuts, even more cuts because of the preview cuts which were never released. And Orson Welles has seen one of the earlier preview cuts and was not happy with it. Then he wrote a memo, a 58 pages memo with yeah, what he wishes to be changed and such. And then they released the theatrical cut, which was very short, and they ignored the memo or such and did their own thing. Yeah, and later on, after they found another preview cut which wasn't released before, which was closer to the memo or something like that, which was closer to the vision of Orson Welles, which was released in the 80s, I think, 70s, something like that. And then in the 90s, some editors took the memo and created a cut based on that. And that's what I'm watching. It's called the reconstruction cut. Yeah, I should have said that before, but I wanted to explain why I want to watch this version, because it's closest to the vision of Orson Welles, which I consider a genius in filmmaking. Because Citizen Kane alone was a masterpiece in filmmaking, and yeah, the camera work, even the lighting, and what all the things happened in the shot, in the background, and all that was just masterfully done. Yeah, so I'm very excited for that. But okay, enough said, I think. I said actually a lot, so yeah. I say no more, but let's rock! He plays a bomb? Nice camera movement. One shot. A little shaky, but well done. know what spoken by now?
Hey, I got this.
You're American citizen, miss?
No, I got this ticking noise.
Yeah, okay.
No, really, this
Good
ticking
night.
noise in my head.
Or in the trunk.
Hey, what happened?
That car that just passed has exploded.
Passed them real close.
That bomb came from the Mexican side of the border. The car did. Bomb.
Interesting.
Vargas, you've heard of Hank Quinlan, our local police celebrity.
I'd like to meet him.
That's what you think.
Okay. There he is. And he's so fat. And it's a mask, right? He didn't gain that much weight. I think it's a mask.
Quiet little tea party, all for Rudy Lennox's bonfire. Yeah, I hear he even invited some kind of a Mexican.
Oh, I don't think Mr. Vargas claims any jurisdiction.
I should hope not. Two people, Americans, have blown to hash with dynamite practically in my own police station.
I wonder what makes you so very sure it was dynamite?
My leg.
Your what?
Intuition, he calls it.
Vargas has a theory that the murder itself was committed outside of our jurisdiction.
Of course, we're all of us going to cooperate with
Don't
Mr.
worry,
Vargas
Captain.
here.
I'm merely what the United Nations would call an observer.
I don't talk like one, I'll say that for you. Mexican, I mean.
You won't have any trouble with me.
You bet your sweet life I won't.
Okay, interesting.
Who's the Jane?
His wife.
How do you know? She don't look Mexican either.
Also a great shot. But it seems like that the inspector, what he is, some sort of a racist. He doesn't like Mexicans.
Senor Vargas.
Yes?
The fuck is going on, man?
Somebody threw acid at Vargas.
It doesn't matter.
Well,
He missed me.
Who was it, Al?
I don't know. He got away.
This is one of the Grande kids.
What makes you so sure of that, Captain?
Intuition.
Does your intuition also tell you about my wife? She was accosted in the street a little while ago and led across to some dive on your side of the border.
Vargas family seems to be getting into quite a lot of trouble tonight.
Aren't you going to do something about it?
I'm making a charge. I gotta ask the complaint, or isn't that police procedure in Mexico?
Procedure?
Say your wife was attacked.
I did not say she was
Did you just
attacked.
say she was molested?
Not physically molested, no.
Oh man, he doesn't want to listen to him.
Hank's a born lawyer, you know.
Lawyer. I'm no lawyer. All a lawyer cares about is the law.
Oh, so he doesn't. Interesting.
His cane. I forgot to give him his cane.
His cane. There's no Kane in Citizen Kane. Man, these shots.
What's wrong? What are you following us for?
Also, this shot. Everywhere. Eyes everywhere. Man.
I turned the music on up for you. I thought you'd like.
Now I got some Psycho vibes. But that was before Psycho. Interesting. And always when Orson Welles is in a shot, it's always low angle shot. Seeing him up there, powerful. And he does also a great job in acting. Really believable.
I don't speak Mexican.
He only speaks American.
You'll have to put him on the scene of the crime.
We will.
We've got to have some evidence.
We'll get it.
We'll get it. From where?
We found them both. You heard that, boy. We found the dynamite.
Interesting. So he planted the evidence or what? Man, this guy.
You found the dynamite in this box?
Oh, and that was the box he mistakenly pulled over.
There wasn't anything there.
That's right.
The shoebox was empty.
Go on saying it's empty. Folks will understand.
I'm saying more than that, Captain.
Somebody's going to have to give in on this thing.
Either that or somebody's going to be ruined.
Uh-oh. Okay, now it gets interesting. Man, what a great scene. And I think the interior shots were one long shot. The camera were moving where the action is. Very well done. And the great thing about using this wide angle lens is that you can have various different characters just in one shot. And that's what he does in several shots. And then when they spread, they move the camera where the action is. That I like. Oh, very shaky. No stabilization back then.
Better call Uncle Joe.
Better call Saul.
You know what the boys are trying to do, don't you? They are trying to get in there. You know what a mainliner is?
I think so. But what's that got to do with me?
You take it in the vein.
You're trying to tell me these boys are drugged? Is that why?
Interesting.
In this thing, we're partners, see? Shall we drink to that?
I don't.
No, he's drinking. Shows under what stress he is right now.
Where can I find the records of Quinlan's old cases?
I'll show you.
He's digging deep. And maybe he will find more. And then Quinlan is finished.
He's a drug addict.
Oh.
He's got that young wife of his hooked, too.
Oh. And the woman in the motel was talking about drugs.
You don't mean he's mixed up in this dope racket himself?
Hey, if this is just one of your hunches.
I don't ask you to believe it. I can prove it. I know it isn't my department, but...
He can prove it. Oh man, this guy. Poor Vargas. He's just trying to do the right thing. Nice playing with the light. And always this low angle shots. Combined with the wide angle. That looks so good.
What's all this?
Records of every case where you or Quinlan uncovered the principal evidence. In each case, as you'll notice, the defense denied the existence of that evidence.
What are you trying to do? Wreck him?
Him? What about you?
Good question.
What about all those people he put in the death house? Save your tears for them.
Even though Charlton Heston is questionable as a Mexican, I really like his character. If I understood it correctly, they drugged her now to frame Vargas. But what now?
Brought you up here for a reason.
I don't get it. I don't even see why you wanted us to bring her all the way into town here.
So much going through my head right now. First of all, the lighting and the framing of the scene and such, but also the suspense. What exactly is going on? That scene is so well done. Man. When Vargas comes, he wants to frame him for murder, right? That it looks like that he strangled him. And and now a lot of people there witnessing that he's looking for her. Oh man.
The charge isn't just possession of narcotics.
What is it then?
Murder.
But who is charged? So she's charged with murder. That's strange. Why would she murder him and strangle him even? Looks more like self-defense I wonder what happened to the guy at the motel. Because he's a witness for Vargas.
I found it in the hotel room. Yeah. With Grandy's body.
Yeah, okay. This guy seems to be on his side. The framing of him and the bull.
What's my fortune? Come on, read my future for me.
Your future is all used up.
How many did you frame?
Nobody.
Come on, Hank. How many did you frame?
I told you. Nobody. Nobody that wasn't guilty.
In his eyes, guilty.
Just like you planted that dynamite.
Don't you think Sanchez is guilty? He's
Now
guilty.
it's loud.
Vargas?
Oh no.
Are you carrying a bug for him? A microphone? Don't lie to me.
That's it.
Better give me Vargas's gun.
Okay, here it is. Give it to me. Vargas!
Oh shit. With his gun, oh man.
How could you arrest me here? This is my country.
Oh.
This is where you're gonna die.
This guy's still alive? Man.
How many did you frame?
Nobody that wasn't guilty. Guilty.
Man, these close-ups.
His famous intuition was right after all. He framed that Mexican kid Sanchez, but he didn't even need to. The kid confessed about that bomb. So, turns out Quinlan was right after all.
What? He was right.
Well, Hank was a great detective, all right.
And a lousy cop. Adios.
And the end. Charlton Heston, Janet Leigh, and Orson Welles. Touch of Evil. Man. Alright. Man, the story was really good. I was engaged the whole time. It was mysterious. It was suspenseful. And then with all the twists in between. It was well done. I'm surprised. People were saying that the story wasn't that good. But maybe they watched different cuts. So I don't know how the theatrical cut was. But that was pretty good. Alright. Okay. So I'll see you at the review. Alright, that was it. That was Touch of Evil. Yeah, and like I said, better than I expected story-wise. Exactly what I expected production-wise and direction-wise and such. Yeah, exceptionally filmed. That's what I like the most. The camera work and all the techniques he used. Mostly he was filming from below up to the characters. First I thought it was only for Quinlan to making him appear more powerful and such, but he did it with several characters. Talking about the characters, Charlton Heston as a Mexican. Firstly, I was not that impressed, but afterwards, I mean, he's a great actor, and that showed, of course. He convinced me, but when it comes to, and here's where my knowledge is not that great, is that when he spoke Spanish, if that was convincing or not. Yeah, but maybe you can tell me about it. If he did a good job, because I mean, when an American actor plays a German and then talks German, it's a bit cringe for me. So I'm interested what you think as a native Spanish speaker. Janet Leigh, good as always. Her acting reminded me of her acting in Psycho. that fear expression, especially in that one scene when the bad guys were coming in. That was also so well done with the quick cuts and the lighting, Janet Leigh's acting. Yeah, that was great. And then Orson Welles not only did a great performance, he had to wear a mask, a fat suit. That takes time in preparation for the scenes. Then he had to direct. He took part in the writing process and all that. Man, a real juggernaut of a project for him. And I heard that he didn't even want to direct that film in the first place. He was hired later on, and then he did that great job. Because direction-wise, it was top. And also the editing. I don't know the other cuts, but that was great. So I can't understand the critique that the story is not good, because it was, especially with the atmosphere and all. It was very mysterious in the beginning. Even though I had a lot of questions in the beginning, I knew that they will be answered in time. The big elephant in the room was who did the bombing. The film started with it. First with this one take, this very long one take. A little shaky, but okay. No stabilization back then. And then kind of a who did it story began. And then the two detectives clashing, two different districts. One where the bomb was placed, one where the bomb blew up. And Orson Welles' character, what was his name again? Quinlan. Such a special character. He was right all the way. That was surprising. I mean, all they had to do, these two detectives, were working together. But Quinlan was such an egomaniac. I mean, he was right, okay, but what he did, they summed it up really good in the end. He was a great detective, but a lousy cop. That's the perfect description for him, for Quinlan. His intuition was right most of the time. Or always? I don't know. Maybe always. But yeah, he did some shady things to accomplish what he thought is right. And then on the opposite, Vargas, who wasn't really right, but he did the right things. That's what I liked him for. He tried to do the right thing, even though his intuition was not right. But Vargas had a hard time, even with the mob on the side, where he was involved in. I didn't quite get that. He was prosecuting some family member of them, and they wanted to. I don't know what they wanted to do. Hurt him, or because one threw acid at him, or if they wanted to intimidate him. But why threw acid when they just intimidated him? Nah, okay. I don't know. Yeah, and again, the camera work again. I have to talk about this more. This was the best thing about this film. The wide angle shots and the movement. Many scenes, transition scenes mostly, who was filmed from a crane. And I think that wasn't the norm back then, right? In the 50s. These shots. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that this was one of the first who did this, and then many followed. Similar to Citizen Kane, where he had a lot of movements. No crane shots, but a lot of moving shots. And what I also noticed is that everything was in focus. He didn't play with the aperture. The aperture was always closed, so that everything could be focused. He did this also in Citizen Kane, where he always had something in the background, and not that much as in Citizen Kane, but also he used that technique here. And also a scene with a mirror, and that scene was used later on in the 70s, and I noticed that a lot in the other films I reacted to. That a mirror was used to have both characters in one shot. Yeah, and I can go on and on. It's just that I love these techniques he used. Yeah, so what else? That was the first introduction to Marlene Dietrich, although she had a very small role, but an interesting role. I wish it was a little bigger, because a little potential was there, because she know Quinlan. Yeah, but it was only revealed in the end how well she know him. Yeah, so this was the reconstructed cut, and I wonder if you have seen the theatrical cut. Let me know what was so important they changed, and what do you think why they changed that? I'm very interested in this kind of stuff, because that's so mind-blowing that a genius like Orson Welles wasn't allowed to finish his own film, and then decisions were made what made this film worse. You know what I mean? That's I don't get it. It's similar to this film, this Peckinpah film, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, which is also on my list. And now that the Criterion Collection released a new version, a new preview cut, which is actually from Peckinpah. And there are so many other cuts of it which are worse, because the studio bosses wouldn't let the director finish the film. Yeah, I don't know, this is yeah. But yeah, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, there's also one film I really want to see, just like Touch of Evil. Yeah, and now I'm glad I've seen it. Alright, okay, I think I have nothing more to say. Maybe some trivia. Janet Leigh's agent initially rejected her participation in this film due to the low salary offered without even consulting the actress. Orson Welles, anticipating this, sent a personal letter to the actress, telling her how much he looked forward to their work together. Leigh, furious, confronted her agent, telling him that getting directed by Welles was more important than any paycheck. Yeah, that's right. And a year later or two, he worked with Hitchcock, another legend. The opening scene took an entire night to get right, mainly because the actor playing the customs officer kept blowing his lines. It was beginning to get light on the horizon when Orson Welles made the final take of the night, saying to the cast, "Alright, let's try it one more time." Then he looked at the door and said, "If you forget your lines this time, just move your lips and we will dub it later. But please God, do not say I'm sorry, Mr. Welles." This is the take seen in the film. However, it is important to add that Welles categorically refused to consider firing this unhappy actor at any point. Although Universal executive who were on the set repeatedly urged him to. Oh, interesting. Orson Welles said that this was the most fun he'd ever had filming a picture, unlike most of his Hollywood films, because he wasn't troubled by studio interference until after he completed the picture anyway. He was given a healthy budget, and he was working with some of his favorite actors on a script that didn't involve as much symbolism and all-out cinematic trickery as something like Citizen Kane. Okay. Maybe not that much, but still, a lot. Despite popular speculation, Orson Welles is wearing makeup throughout the film. 4 hours every night. They would add pounds and pounds onto him and use prosthetics for his face. He once said that he was late going to dinner party at his house during the filming and arrived with his makeup still on. A famous actress approached him when he entered and in all seriousness said, "Orson, you look wonderful." Oh man, that's funny. The entire film was shot on real locations, apart from the 10-minute take in the Mexican shoe store clerk's apartment, which is actually a set. The studio wanted the entire film to be shot on sets, even going so far as to build numerous locations on its lots. But Orson Welles insisted on filming in a real city, settling for Venice, California, when he couldn't get his initial choice of Tijuana. Interesting. And if I'm not mistaken, that adds up the cost, the production cost, right? Filming on location. Executives from the Universal Pictures only found out that Marlene Dietrich was playing Tanya when they saw the rushes from that day's shooting. She had filmed her part in one day as a personal favor to Orson Welles, and he had not told anyone about it. Okay? She agreed to appear at minimum union wage, but when the studio executives decided to give her on-screen credit, they had to pay her more. Oh. Okay, interesting. Orson Welles was originally hired only to act in the film, but due to a misunderstanding, Charlton Heston thought that Welles was to be the director. To keep Heston happy, producer Albert Sacksmith allowed Welles to direct. Welles made major changes to the already completed script, including changing Heston's character from a white district attorney to a Mexican narcotics agent, changing Janet Leigh's character from Mexican to American, and changing the setting of the movie from a small California town to a Mexican-American border. Interesting. So that's how Orson Welles got hired as a director, because of Charlton Heston, who thought Orson Welles was directing. Orson Welles stated that his goal with the film was to infuriate the audience with the plot, in much the same way that Howard Hawks did with The Big Sleep. The story became even more confusing once the studio recut the picture. Even more confusing? Okay. The Big Sleep, I haven't seen that, so I can compare. Yeah, again, tell me more about this. What was so confusing in the theatrical cut? Okay, I think that's it. Too much talking. All right, yeah, great film. Really enjoyed that. Okay, and I hope you enjoyed it too, like always. If not, then thumbs down. Yeah, okay. So I would say, see you next time. Bye bye. Adios.